Everybody, I really loved this interview that I did with Idelma. She has been chronically ill for 20 years now, and she just could not find a solution. But she's been in our program now just on the 6-month mark, I think. And she no longer identifies as being sick at all. She said 80 to 90% of her symptoms have completely gone, including arthritis that she had in her hands that was so painful that they were on fire. She could barely move her hands, to now completely gone. So thank you so much, Adelma, for your courage to take this interview and share the message with all of those that are thinking about joining the program. I hope you really enjoy this one. I'll see you in the interview.
I have been on a health journey for 2 decades. And in those 2 decades, my health just got worse. I tried by just researching on my own, staying away from the things that really inflame your body. But I just kept hitting a wall. I had extreme food sensitivities. I had exercise intolerance. I had digestive issues. There was like very little that I could eat without being up all night. Terrible inflammation, nerve pain, light sensitivity, sound sensitivity. I couldn't even hold the phone. Like I would feel the electromagnetic frequency from the phone. I wasn't even sleeping like an hour a night. I reacted to watermelon last summer. Like my fingertips were like on fire. And I was like, oh my God, I have to find something. This weekend, I said to my husband, I feel like I'm 25 years old again. I have 80% to even 90% improvement in most of my symptoms. It's nothing short of miraculous.
Mhm.
This changed me, this healed me in even unexpected ways. There are things that are healed that I didn't even know needed to be healed. Now, like as I'm leaving and I know some people are staying, I know them well from seeing them on the clothes. They're making progress. Even the ones that I thought were like, wow, this is slow progress. Or they were frustrated because they hit a wall with something. Every single one of them is now past that and they're making progress. Thank you for taking the time for meeting
Yeah,
with me. I know it's really early. I really wanted to meet you. I
I was very much looking forward to meeting you as well. And um, yeah, what an amazing story. Thank you so much for posting up in the community, and for the inspiration that you've been. Just, I mean, this is why we do it, and it's just, yeah, beautiful to see.
Yes, yes. I mean, you've created a really spectacular program. Really spectacular. It really has helped me tremendously.
Mm,
I
mm.
I can't believe it. I was looking at the calendar. I posted 23, but I think it's more like 24, maybe 25 weeks.
Yeah,
So that's like a good 6 months.
yeah. So you've
It
been in
went
the
by.
program 6 months now.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, perfect. Yeah,
I,
yeah.
I don't know what I don't know if that's like the timeline to see a lot of progress for some people, but for me, it
It
feels like
is.
wow.
Yeah, 6 months, around 6 months. I think, yeah, six months and on, I think is where we see
Mhm.
the really great progress. Um, and also, yeah, it really depends because everyone approaches the program a little bit differently. And I think a lot of the time, the ones that have gone all in sort of thing and really embodied a lot of the work sort of thing, it really starts to show, around that. Sometimes at the 3 month mark, sometimes 4, 5, 6 months, um, depending on where they started from and that sort of thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, but yeah, no, thank you so much for jumping on. I'd love to learn a little bit more about sort of your journey and things, if you don't mind. If I have a few questions for you. Um, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, awesome. I'm curious, what sort of initially led you to consider the program?
I have been on a health journey for 2 decades. And in those 2 decades, my health um, just got worse. About 15 years ago, I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis. Um, before that I had, like emotional issues like anxiety and stuff like that. Fortunately, I was able to overcome that. Um, and I was trying everything because I didn't want to go the, medication route, big pharma route.
Mm.
And I was able to not to like feel okay enough not to go big pharma route. A lot of the things that I had, I saw them in my family, with my mother specifically, who was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis. But by the time she was 40, her knuckles were already like formed.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, she was very young. And I look back now at a picture when I was turning 21, and I saw her, her hands, and I was like, oh my God, that could have been me.
Mm.
But I tried by just researching on my own, staying away from the things that really inflame your body. But I just kept hitting a wall. About a year ago, um, I started the carnivore journey, but again, there I was hitting a wall. I could only get so far. My body just didn't know how to use fat for fuel, um, and just so many other things. I just at a loss. And then I heard about your program through an interview with Malia on YouTube, and I was like, "Oh my God, maybe this is the answer to what what I've been looking for." Because I was trying everything, and I just couldn't, and things were just getting worse. By the time I was put on a waiting list, but by the time I heard from the program, I wasn't even sleeping like an hour a night.
Mm.
I had such interrupted sleep, digestive issues. Despite trying so many things and thinking that I was doing the right thing, things just kept getting worse.
Mm.
I have to laugh because I reacted to watermelon last summer. I had such a vicious reaction to watermelon. Like my fingertips were like on fire. And I was like, oh my God, I have to find something
Mm.
because how can I react to watermelon? Um, and I don't know, God answered my prayers. I just kept searching, and I found this program.
Amazing. May I ask, were you on the wait list for very long?
Uh, I want to say it was months for sure, but I can't remember exactly how
Okay.
many months. But it
I'm
was
glad,
months, yeah.
I'm glad we got you in. What was it that, do you remember what was it that resonated for you about the interview? Was there something specific that you felt this is it, or it was just a intuitive decision?
I felt like when Malia was first of all, her journey is nothing short of miraculous. Like what she went through was such a moving interview.
Mm.
Um, but to see like how far she had come, like yeah, like her journey was like she was so sick and then she got here. But just the tools that she mentioned that the program gave you, and she did say, and not everybody is the same because I didn't feel like I was where Malia was at her worst.
Mhm.
So she did explain that everybody comes to the program at a different stage, like with different situations, with different conditions. And depending on what their issue is, you know, it could be a different length of time. And before they leave, they're given like the tools that they need, the information that they need to move forward. So if it's just somebody who, is trying to get past like that keto flu or that whatever it is, that metabolic inflexibility,
Mm.
and they just want, they need to just get over that and help with that. And then so they can help people like that, or they can help people that were as sick as her.
Yeah.
What resonated was all of the different levels of of illnesses that you could help.
Mm. Mm.
And I was like, I don't know if I fall way on the bottom, and I definitely don't, or not all the way up here
Yeah.
in terms of severity, but I kind of fell in the middle, and I was like, okay, then they can help me.
Mm, yeah. And now you probably know, now that you've got a lot of the information, is that often it's sort of a progressive curve where people go down and things start to deteriorate because the gut lining's perforated, and then the other systems are starting to slowly, you know, become cumbersome, and everything's starting to load up, and then toxins start to build up, and then sort of things can progress to a point where Malia was, where you're sort of bedbound, and symptoms obviously show up in different ways for different people depending on what journey they've been through. But it's all about root cause, right? Getting to the
Hmm.
cause of some of these things to heal that, so then the rest of the body starts to come back into balance and back into alignment. So it's just those fundamentals, helping people understand those fundamentals, I think. So for you were rheumatoid arthritis was one of the biggest
Hmm.
things that you had that you were dealing with. Were you, before you joined the program, you said you deteriorated quite a bit there. Were you
Yeah.
in bed a lot? Like, what was your energy and fatigue and brain fog and things like that? Or
Definitely had brain fog. No, I was still functioning. I was still able to go to work. I wasn't bedbound, thank
yeah,
goodness. But I had extreme food sensitivities. I had exercise intolerance. I could go to work and then I would come home and just like, I couldn't do anything else.
yeah,
And I just had to rest for the rest of the evening, try and sleep through the night and then start all over again.
mm,
Uh,
mm, mm.
yeah, no, I could, like, you can't even say like, "Oh, I was able to come home and like, cook or shop I just do shopping or this or that." I didn't have the energy for anything but going to work and coming back and recovering from that.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I used to be very active. I used to have a gym membership. I used to like leave work and go right to gym and do a Pilates class or a yoga class and then do a sauna or whatever, and then come home at 7 and cook dinner or stop at the supermarket and pick,
mm,
pick up food and then prepare a meal.
yeah.
I quit the gym and
Mm.
I couldn't do any of it anymore. I just didn't have the energy for it.
Kind of in survival mode. You're just earning income, making sure the bills are paid,
Yes.
you get enough sleep when you can, recovering when you can, and doing
Yeah.
it the next day.
Yeah. I had digestive issues. There was like very little that I could eat without being up all night, just like with digestive issues,
Mm,
terrible inflammation.
mm,
The inflammation was especially like in neuropathy, the nerve pain.
yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't even believe I was like writing down because they do tell you write down things because you're gonna forget. And you really do forget.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
As in, you forget the symptoms and the things that you were dealing with, and then as you progress through and get better, you kind of forget that was even a thing until someone mentioned it. Until someone
Yeah,
mentioned it, you're like, "Oh, yeah, I used to deal with it."
yeah.
Yeah.
I had light sensitivity, sound sensitivity, just the phone, I couldn't even hold the phone. Like I would feel the electromagnetic frequency from the phone. I couldn't even touch it.
Mm, just, yeah, hypersensitive.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how are you now?
Oh my God. I am sometimes sometimes I tell my husband, this weekend I said to my husband, I feel like I'm 25 years old again. And I picked that age. I picked that age because I remember I was pregnant when I was 25. And I guess I was in the nesting phase of pregnancy. And I remember just like spending the whole day like scrubbing the bathroom and getting into the grout and then I was like, at the end of the day, I had so much energy still
Yeah.
after doing like all of that, preparing for having a baby. And that's how I feel now. I could do so much after work. I could run errands. I haven't joined the gym yet because I know I got to take it easy. Like,
Easy.
let my body get used to this.
Yeah.
Let my body get used to this. Let me pace myself. I'm not going to join the gym yet, but I have a spin bike. I ride the bike almost every single day. I'm up to 25 minutes on
Amazing.
good resistance. yeah, I'm obviously metabolically flexible now. My mitochondria, they can use fat for fuel. I'm so
Yeah.
proud of them.
Isn't that amazing? Yeah, I talk to some of my friends sometimes, and some of the friends I haven't seen for a while, and they're not really in the health space, and they sort of use the words like, "Oh, I'm getting older," and I'm 41, and I just feel like I'm getting younger. Like I really do. It was about 10 years ago now that I was really in the process of reversing my lupus condition. And over time, just staying with the lifestyle, staying with, understanding what good food is for the body and what really energizes the body and what pollutes it and all those sort of things. I just feel like I get more and more energy each year. I think that's the beauty of it. And if we look at some of the tribes and things in the world, and that are living on ancestral diets, they're living to 100 and still functional, and look at some of those blue zones that were living in alignment with nature and in community and eating good food. 100 plus was active years. So I think the health continues through when you have the knowledge.
Yes, I really do believe that our body knows how to survive.
Yeah.
We even get knowledge, like we even get knowledge, like the intuition that we have or those cravings that we have.
Hmm.
Your body is so intelligent. If you just listen, you can figure out exactly what you need.
Mm.
That's
Yep.
something that I think I've developed maybe with the limbic work in the program. I've developed that, but
Yep.
I can literally I know when I need to eat liver. I know when I need to
Yeah.
eat
I
eggs.
think
Like I
the
know.
funny thing is I think there's like a new it's almost like a new intuition is developed, because I think you have some people, I think, tune into what they think is their intuition they're when they've got an unbalanced bacteria. So you've got maybe
Mm,
those opportunistic bacteria that are craving, and they
mhm,
want sugars, and you get those sugar cravings, and you're like, it becomes overpowering. And I think some people think, oh, intuitively, I decided to eat the thing because that's the feeling and the emotion that's coming up. But I think it's when you go through some of those diets around, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, that your intuition kind of almost shifts, and that
mhm.
cravings become quite different. And you look at sugary foods and muffins and sweet things a little bit differently. It's almost like it becomes a decoration because your body just doesn't crave those things anymore. Did you experience that at all?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
We just had Mother's Day here in the United States,
Oh, happy
and
Mother's Day. We had it in New Zealand as well.
thank you. And there was a whole spread of dessert, whole spread, and I just looked at it, and I didn't care, and it would actually, you said it right, it looks like decoration.
Yeah.
It was like a nice spread, nicely decorated, looked like. And I'm on stage 2 of the eating protocol, and you can have some berries, and there were berries there. I was like, "You know what? I'm gonna have some berries." And I had berries, and I was fine. Nobody touches the berries, though. Everybody goes for the other stuff. So I had plenty of berries. But no, I don't I used to have dreams during die-off. I used to have dreams of eating sweets, and then I wake and I was, like, so upset. I thought it was so real. In the dream, I was so upset. "Oh my god, I ate sweets," and then I wake up, and I didn't eat it, and I was so relieved.
I remember that actually. That's funny you say that. I remember having those dreams.
Yeah, and then I had a really tricky one where I thought I woke up and I had it. I woke up in the dream to discover that I had actually eaten the stuff, but that was still the dream. So it was like a double whammy in the dream. And then I finally woke up and like, oh my God, that bacteria is so freaking intelligent. I can't believe they had me double dreaming.
Isn't that crazy? That's so,
That's nuts.
yeah, amazing.
And now it's over. Like I did have a die off at 5 months. The die off with me usually started with the dreams,
Mm.
and then some other issues would come. So I had a die off at 5 months. That was after that die off. I did it because I did start adding like the green powder leaf stevia that's allowed in stage 2. I was putting that on fermented sour cream. And after that last sign off, I don't even want that. Like I totally don't want anything that's remotely tastes sweet.
Mm. Yeah. Amazing, isn't it? Oh, you
Yeah,
just
that's
craving. I think it's hard for people to even imagine what it's like not to have that craving, but your body
yeah.
doesn't, you don't see it as food. Your body craves different things like broth and and
Yeah.
soups and meat and whole foods.
Yeah, but I remember this as part of my growing up. I didn't like sweets. I grew up eating very healthy.
Mm,
Yeah, we didn't have packaged foods in my house. My mom always cooked, and there was so I'm from the Dominican Republic, and the meals are
oh, you grew up in the Dominican Republic?
no, I was born there. I came here when I was 3 to the States.
Okay.
My mother was 23 when she came here, so I grew up in a very, like, traditional, we still hadn't become, like, Americanized.
Right.
Uh, so everything was just the way she did it over there.
Mm,
Um, first You know what? I realized the other day, they used to send me to school because I didn't wanna eat. They used to have me swallow a whole egg yolk, raw egg yolk. They used to put it in,
parents?
like, in a little
Yeah.
yeah, in a
Yeah.
little bit of oranges because I refused to eat. I just wasn't hungry in the morning, so they wanted to send me to school with something in my stomach, and they would make me swallow this egg yolk. And now I'm like, "Oh my god, they sent me with such brain food in my stomach. No wonder I had such good grades and I had such good focus." And I started doing that again. I started eating raw egg yolks. I just swallow them. I don't chew them or anything. I
Mhm.
just, like, swallow it. Like, I started with one because I was like it just dawned on me that was part of my growing up.
Yeah.
And I was like, "I wanna see what that's like, because I had the same thing. I don't wanna eat in the morning, but I know I need to eat, and I don't wanna chew. So much of how I feel now is how I was naturally when I was a child.
Well,
So
yeah.
I swallowed the egg yolk, and I'm like, "I'm not gonna have anything but this egg yolk until I know it digested." Within 40 minutes, Scott, I felt like I had the most potent multivitamin in my life,
Amazing. Yeah.
like at the 40-minute mark. So now I have 2 raw egg yolks when I feel like that, when I don't wanna eat. Yeah, and I feel fantastic, and I'm like, "Damn, they knew what they were doing. Those people that have cultural knowledge, like, they just knew what they were doing. They weren't afraid, that I was gonna get sick." I'm like, because I
Yeah.
was like, you hear all these things, salmonella, this, that, or the other. I'm like, "No way. No
Yeah.
way I'm gonna get any of that. Otherwise, I would have been dead by."
I think as well, like, I think people have seen me do things like that and they're like, such an extremist now, kind of thing. And somebody might hear that, like, oh, she's having egg yolks. I'm never going to do that. But I think it's the thing that compels you to do these things is just the feeling that you're gaining is just that joy. There's such a joy in the energy that you start to obtain over time, right? And so you'd see, for me, I see energy as kind of little packets of joy as well, because I just know that it's going to turn my brain on. I'm going to have more energy. I'm going to be more confident in my relationships and my interactions. My relationships are going to be deeper. The whole kind of life experience changes so much. And so your relationship with food becomes such a different relationship, I think. For me, it was.
Yeah.
Mm.
I posted a video on school. I actually was curious to see if there were other cultures that ate raw egg yolks, and I found a short on YouTube. In Japan, it's like they have restaurants where you go and they give you a bowl of white rice, and then you pick which eggs you want from like different farms. The eggs are all put in like different
Yeah.
displays, and you just pick different eggs, and they just crack the egg yolk on top of the food, on top of the rice, and that's their meal. So I was like, "Okay, I'm good."
We good.
They're doing this all over Japan, I'm fine.
Yeah. I like this. Well, I would love to hear your experience of going through the program and yeah, just your sort of recovery journey. You mentioned it was about 20 years of not feeling well. And I think you've 6 months in the program. So I'd love to hear what your journey was like, the ups and downs, and I'm sure there was probably a few moments there where you were like thinking, "This is not for me." Maybe, or did you have moments where you were like, "I don't want to be here. This is not right. This is not right for." Yeah.
No, I didn't feel that because they really do prepare you for, what can happen when you're going through die-off, and they tell you at what time frames they were happening, and then my die-offs, which were the difficult points, it did happen to correlate around that time, except the 5-month one. I think that was a month early.
Mm,
Um, and then the daily calls, right? So you have the daily calls. That's a huge part. That's such a support because when I was feeling like it was really difficult, I was like, I'm gonna get on this call and I'm just gonna say it like it is. I'm gonna tell them how I feel. And I'm
yeah.
gonna see I want to see how they can help me.
Yeah.
Um, and that support was fantastic because the dialogues were really difficult. They were very difficult. They explained to us that, when the bacteria is dying off, all these toxins are released and they can affect you with, emotions. You can get angry, you can get, weepy, you can get sad. And I had all of those things.
Mm,
I had all of this. And I remember one time I was driving home from work and I had this overwhelming feeling of sadness. Now, years ago, I had anxiety, but I never had depression. I never had like an overwhelming sadness. This sadness was like a dark cloud was coming over me. And it was winter. Fortunately, it was winter. And I remembered how part of the program is you have to do the cold therapy.
yeah.
Cold. So I was like, okay, I need to do something because I feel terrible. And I was like, I'm gonna open a window. It's really cold outside because the hormones, the happy, feel good hormones are, happen when you expose yourself to cold. So I opened the windows. It was blasting cold air coming in the car, hitting my face, and my mood started to lift.
Mm,
So that shock of cold air on my body, on my face, and it was like amazing. So even though you do go through some tough times when you're going through die off, if you remember now, I'm not s I don't know, maybe it's hard to, like, remember, right? But I was fortunate to remember at that time, like, there's tools that you're given, and if you use them, you could really help, help the process along, like getting on the cools, doing cold therapy, the
mm,
limbic work.
mm,
I think the limbic work really, really, really helped me too.
mm.
But no, I never felt like it was not for me. I always felt like it was the right place for me because when I was feeling really, really down, I would get on those calls and they told us that the community feeling also releases those feel good hormones.
Yeah.
So of course, I'm feeling terrible. If I want to feel better, I'm gonna get on a call. I
Yeah.
want some feel good hormone. I want some feel good hormones.
Yeah. How, how far into the program were you when you started having that sort of feeling of depression or like a heavier feeling?
That was pretty early on in the program. I wanna say that was, like, week 5. That was, like, the first die-off.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, that was the first die-off.
And how was the, community aspect for you going through the program with a bunch of other people that are going through the same thing?
I thought it was great. I thought it was great because everybody understood each other. We were all in the same boat. Um, and everybody's so patient and supportive, and the practitioners, the way they ask questions and support you and guide you and, like, even your thoughts and processing your emotions throughout the calls is very nice. I've made some wonderful friends. I joined the Limbic group, right
Yeah,
at the time that they suggested it. I was always like, I'll do it. I'll do it.
yeah.
I'll do anything to get better.
Yeah.
I'll try anything.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got really close. That's also a great like support for me, the
Mm.
limbic group.
Yeah. Yeah. Amazing. You said that the limbic was like quite a big component for you. Did you feel doing the limbic work? Can you share a little bit more about your experience with the limbic work?
The limbic work was difficult at first, but I was gonna power through it. So I started with 10 minutes. Um, I just took everything for face value, right? I was like, these people say this works. I saw that video with Millie on it.
Yeah.
Okay, this is gonna work.
Yeah.
So I started with 10 minutes, then I went with the 20 minutes, and then eventually with the 40 minutes. And then I had this cathartic experience at about 3 months where I was doing a limbic ground and I just started like bawling, crying my eyes out. And I felt like every cell in my body was welcoming me home. Like, Idelma, we're here for you. Welcome back. And it dawned on me that I had been like a little robot. I gotta go to work. I gotta do this. I gotta do this. I was like on autopilot and I wasn't feeling myself. I wasn't in the present moment. I wasn't feeling my being. And at month 3, it's almost like I came back into my body.
Mm.
And it was cathartic, it was joyous, it was something that you just unexpected.
Mm.
No one had like even on the limbic calls, that hadn't come up a lot. Things do come up during limbic calls, but that hadn't come up. That was when I knew that I was onto something. And then after that, then I just started to notice how much more calm I was.
Mm.
How, I could just watch and just take in and not react, which is one of the things they tell you that happens.
Mm.
When your prefrontal cortex comes online, you become a problem solver. You're not a reactor, right? And then I started seeing that. I started seeing that in myself.
Yeah.
And then, so what I do is I'm a school psychologist. So I deal with, people that are very stressed all the time and children that are sometimes, overreacting and having tantrums and having crises. I work in an elementary school. And now after doing the limbic work, I see things so much more differently when it's happening. Like
Really?
yeah,
Really? Yeah.
yes, I do. Now I'm thinking in my head, before I would be like, oh my God, we've done this in counseling. And this is me thinking it. I'm not gonna say it. Like, we've done this in counseling. We've been over this.
Yeah.
Like, and then, kids obviously they don't implement the tools. The teachers, they also don't implement the tools, whatever. But now I see it from a different perspective. Now it's like their limbic system is dysregulated.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just work through it, Idelma. Just, handhold them through it, remind
Yeah.
them. It's like I see it from such a totally different perspective. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. 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 Oh, that's beautiful. So it's isn't it interesting how and you don't realize it, but 20 years is a long time to be dealing with chronic sickness, right? I think I was about the same. I was probably about 15. And I think, the mind just gets into a mode of operation, survival, really. It's just trying to keep you alive, and it sees, and you're kind of telling yourself you're sick as well because you've probably been diagnosed with something, or of course you're feeling it. So there's sort of a iterative pattern that happens, and then you just body just stays in that mode of survival, and then you go through this process of nourishing the gut and healing the gut lining and starting to calm the nervous system, and then starting to create these new visions and pathways in the brain to what life can be like, and the things start to change. And then it's so interesting. I hear from so many clients that it's almost like I think it can be a slow experience for some people, and they get quite frustrated that they don't see the result of the limbic work specifically. They don't feel like they're seeing the results right away. But then sometimes it just clicks, and Sarah, who's been running the cooking classes, she has a story about, the kids were playing in the background or whatever, and she was doing the dishes, and she just had this experience of overwhelming calm and presence, and it kind of just happened. And she kind of fell back into what it used to be like, what she remembered being like previously. Because I think your experience of being a human changes, and I think it changes slowly and iteratively over a
Mhm.
period of time, of like little stress factors, more stress factors, and then your body just sort of starts to, close in a bit, and you just start to experience life in a different way. You experience it for so long that you kind of forget what it was like. And then you have this experience, and you're back in your body, and you're back calm, and you're back in the present moment. And it's like, oh, that's right.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
remember. Yeah.
hmm
Yeah.
And I did share that in one of the limbic calls how that happened, and it and yeah, they I forget which one of the practitioners at that. Oh, it was must have been Malia, but she explained, yeah, that's what happens. You're just not connected to yourself anymore because you're just on autopilot, just trying to survive. Your brain is just trying to function.
Mm, mm, yeah. If somebody was to watch this recording that was considering joining the program, would you have anything to share with somebody? Would you have any thoughts or things to share with them?
I would say if you're gonna do it, if you're gonna make the decision to do it, just go all in. You have to trust the process. If you need help, ask for help. You can message the practitioners, they'll get back to you. You get all the support that you need. Utilize the calls, do the limbic work. The nutrition calls are amazing if you're having any sort of issues with the protocol, with the food, with the food protocol. It's just if you do the program the way that it is structured, you will see improvements. I even now, like as I'm leaving and I know some people are staying that I know them well from seeing them on the calls. They're they're making progress. Even the ones that I thought were like, wow, this is slow progress. Or they were frustrated because they hit a wall with something. Every single one of them is now past that and they're making progress. So from the experience that I've had, I want to say I have 80% to even 90% improvement in most of my symptoms. There's like two things that are lingering that I would say 70%, which I think is spectacular in
Mm,
this amount of time in 6 months. It's nothing short of miraculous.
mm.
This changed me. This healed me in even unexpected ways. There are things that are healed that I didn't even know needed to be healed. I was like, "Oh, look at that toenail. It's adhering to its nail bed again." I didn't even know. I didn't even think that was even an issue. Like I was just like, "Oh, that's just when my nail is formed." I'm like, "What? Where did that come? What? What else?" This is what you could see. Could you imagine inside your body where you
Right.
can't see?
Right. Yeah. Hmm.
It's mind blowing. I would say yes. Just go all in.
Amazing.
It's a time commitment. It's obviously a financial commitment, but that's why it's so important to just go all in because if you're going to make the decision to put in the time and make the expense, I mean, you're going to spend money anyway, either on pharmaceutical products, doctor's visits,
Mm,
diagnostic tests, right? That's the way I looked at it.
yeah.
Um, just do it.
Yeah.
Go all in.
Yeah, amazing. It reminds me, I was speaking with a woman, Gemma, who's just joined the program maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. And we were talking. She's a friend of a friend. I met her at a dinner, and she's been dealing with some health issues for quite a while now. And she was weighing up between investing in her health or investing in, not necessarily investing in her health, well, investing in her health, but taking a period of time to heal. You know, she was gearing things up in such a way where she could take 3 months off of work, and she's lucky that she can do that. I know a lot of people can't do that, but she sort of had this opportunity of a window. But she was sort of thinking, oh, well, maybe I'll go back to work, and then I'll, find an opportunity in the future. I'll just make some more money now, and then I'll get after fixing myself. And we talked through it, and it's that whole saying of, if you have your health, you have 100 problems. If you don't have your health, you have one. you know,
Mhm.
and it
Mhm.
really, it's so true, because when you are sick, it's the number one thing in your life, right? And it shows
Mhm.
up in so many different ways in your relationships and how you can interact in life, and just taking care of that one thing and taking the time to focus on it and really focusing on it, going, like you said, all in. Just go all in on your health, because when you change that one thing, everything else exponentially improves. So even talking with Gemma, it's like her health is, it's tough. She's struggling. And on the other side of being healthy, she's young. She can get a better job because she's going to be more cognitively switched on. She's going to be more social. She's going to do all the things. So her income earning potential, if she just focuses now on the health, in 3 months, 6 months, she's going to be able to accelerate all of those things as well. So I think it's like a really important thing for people to consider when they're thinking about, when should I dedicate the time to my health? And I think for a lot of mothers as well, it's a really hard one, because it's like they're thinking, I've got to look after the kids and just focus on the kids rather than like
Mhm.
focusing on themselves. But I've had interviews with so many mothers that they're like, it was the best thing I could do, is to focus on myself. And it's not always, mothers are so busy, they've got so many things going on. I think it's so hard to find the time, but there is time. You can find the time, and you can incorporate it into the life, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. I'm curious for you, has have you noticed a difference in your family life or in your relationships at all?
Yes. So I have 3 children, but they're grown. So my husband and I are empty nesters. It's just us. And it's a very quiet, peaceful existence when you're an empty nester, which is in a way I'm glad that, now is when I really had the like my when my kids were younger, fortunately, I was well enough, right?
Mm.
It was when as they were in high school, and that's when I started to deteriorate. But my husband, it's so funny. You know how they say mirror neurons? Like I noticed, and he's healthy. God bless him, he's fine. But the limbic work, like he could get himself very like hyper about like certain topics like politics or stuff like that. So
Yes.
so now and which was hard to deal with when, you come home from work and you're like completely depleted. Like to and then he works from home, so I understand like I was his community, like he needed to connect with me and talk with me, but I had so little to give
Mhm.
because I was so tired and depleted but when I got home. So now I have more to give, right? That I'm not exhausted. I could, spend time with him and dedicate the time that he needs and all that. But when he gets like when he would get hyper about all this politics or whatever topic, like I was remaining so calm and I wasn't feeding into it at all. And now, and now I could just see like he's gonna go, "What?" And then it just goes, because he's like mirroring me. Like I'm not going there.
Right. Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
just a very calm conversation. And then he just changes the topic. I think yeah, that has really that's actually fascinating to see happening.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So your calm now that you have has also brought kind of more calm into the home as well. Your presence is, being felt by those around you.
Yes, very
Mm.
much so. I
Mhm.
would I would describe my husband as a ranter. He could go into rants about very passionate subjects.
Yeah, cool.
I haven't heard a rant, Scott. I haven't heard a rant in months.
Really? Yeah.
No rants. No. Because I'm just too calm. Like,
Mm.
I just bring down the energy. Everybody has to come to my energy. We're all relaxed. We're all relaxed here.
Amazing. So
Yeah, that's
what's next for you? What do you feel? Do you have any? Is there anything new on your horizon, or you're just going to sort of bask now and you know being a
well, actually, um, we have a grandson who's a year and a half in Florida. So probably gonna put in my retirement for my current position, in the school system and move to Florida.
amazing?
By yeah. Yeah, it could either be we're not sure. It might be we were just discussing this yesterday, like where it could be we were thinking March of next year, but now it's like, why would we go March? Let's just go for the winter.
Yeah,
So so
yeah.
we're just trying to figure out some financial things and then yeah, that's the big move.
Amazing. Whereabouts in Florida will you go?
In South Florida, my son is in Parkland,
Okay.
Florida. It's near Boca Raton, but
Okay.
west of Boca. It's near
Okay.
yeah.
I
So
actually lived in Florida for a couple of years. I was down in Fort Lauderdale.
okay, so very close. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. I know that
Very
area well.
close.
It's a beautiful part of the world. Nice and close to the
It's
Caribbean.
just yeah, very fun to be in that area when you're young too.
Yeah, 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 for sure. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's who we are. And I'm looking forward to, running around with my grandson and I don't know. I'm thinking what's my next move? I might wanna write some children's books about, you know, the limbic brain and how you can, we can like program our brain. This is like the new thoughts that are coming into my head. It's very interesting because when I do counseling, I'm like, you know what? Identifying emotions and breathing techniques and all that, this is the stuff that they teach the kids at this age. I'm like, there's a lot more that we could be teaching these kids.
Mhm. Yeah,
It's,
yeah. Wow.
so that's,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I was,
You're thinking about a new approach to help these kids,
yes.
your
Mhm.
experience, and now what you've been through.
Mhm.
Mm.
With
Just
little videos. Yeah, because you got, I work with little guys, so that you got to catch their attention with little cartoons and stuff like that. So these are new ideas that are floating into my head, which, you know, when you put an intention out there, the ideas start to come.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. That sounds really exciting. I think that's very needed in
Mm,
society.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of overstimulated kids.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Mm.
Very short attention spans.
Yeah,
No idea how much power they have over themselves. So
yeah, yeah.
there's there this is there's a niche there. There's a niche. I just have to sort
Absolutely.
out all the details in my mind.
Oh, that's very exciting. Yeah, because I mean, as you know, we have, uh, kids and teenagers through the program as well. And I think, a lot of people, even like more so these days, kids are going straight into processed foods and, parents don't know. We're not taught. And the things we're taught are not the right things. And so we end up, allowing the kids to eat all these things that are really causing a lot of havoc, and
Mhm.
you've probably seen having kids through the program and even, I've got an autistic kid coming through now and just the it's almost like a miracle, like the changes that you can see, um,
Yeah.
you know, from fully nonverbal autistic kids through to kids that are just very disruptive and kind of disturbed with because their gut's not operating properly and they're just very overstimulated, their limbic systems, hypersensitivity and all that sort of thing. So I think that would just be amazing to bring that to them. Yeah. Yeah. Excited.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate you taking the time. I really appreciate connecting with you. It's just wonderful to meet you. And I'm excited for what's ahead. You'll definitely have to keep us updated. And if you need any help with that, by all means, reach out to me. I have a lot of tools and resources and things like that. So if you wanted somebody to chat to about that vision as it starts to develop, you'd be more than welcome. Doors always open to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Scott.
Yeah, you're welcome. Do you have any other questions or anything else you wanted to share? Or
No, I think we covered a lot. I
yeah.
think I think we're good. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time. And I just wanted to check with you. Are you okay with us sharing this interview? It's these sorts of interviews that are the really inspiring part for other people. And I think it really helps compel them to take action and do the things that need to be done in order to get better.
Absolutely.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.